All right, peace and love, everyone. I'm Nova Isaiah L, and I'm bringing you your weekly astrology forecast from June 8th until the 14th. And already we have a lot of things taking place. We have Mercury, definitely a key player in this transit for this week. We have Mercury actually having storm showers right now as we speak, and Mercury is actually beginning to slow down right before it retrogrades in 8.5 days um, at 14 degrees of Cancer. So right now, Mercury uh, having storm showers, slowing down before it actually go into a retrograde is giving off the feeling of um, a retrograde itself. And because Mercury is having a shower and slowing down, this is actually um, not good to start new projects or new things. If you have some great ideas at this time, I would, my advice would be to write them down and wait until after this retrograde period, especially with Mercury going into a shower right now, storm shower on this planet. Um, and definitely, you want to write down those new ideas and save them for a later date. Um, and we have the moon currently in Aquarius, um, and is actually going to go void, of course, tomorrow. But right now, you still have a slight window to use this opportunity to consolidate and to um, finish existing tasks. Not a great idea to start new projects and things like that, but it is a good time to consolidate the tasks that you have and break down your bigger goals into smaller goals. Um, and I like to parallel this weekly transit with the June bug, okay, because uh, Neptune will be very, very influential this week, making its presence known. Neptune will actually be giving off a lot of fog and a lot of unclear um, effects and influences on humanity. No matter what hemisphere you're on, is actually Neptune is going to make its presence felt and produce a lot of fog, just like the June bug when it releases its chemicals and then it devours. Okay, it likes to eat vegetation. It likes to do a lot of different things. So you'll have this Neptune carrying or taking on the or embodying the energy of um, the June bug. And with all of this fog in the air, you definitely want to be careful because your vision or your perception will be skewed and tainted. Um, the way that you perceive people, relationships, friendships, the way that you perceive your heart and your desires will be skewed. So you definitely want to be careful and how you perceive things. Um, Also, you definitely want to make sure that just have a few things down. Neptune will bring a lot of confusion to your mind. Okay, Neptune deals with seeing things from both sides. And when you see things from both sides, you definitely have to get to the core of the issues. And because Neptune will bring a lot of fog and produce a lot of fog, with this Neptune and Sun connection, this is a tough time to make a decision without all of the facts because through the fog, you're definitely going to have to turn on your fog lights. And because you are using your fog lights, you have to travel slower. Um, and this is definitely the solution or remedy to this situation with Neptune going, making his presence strongly felt would be to ground yourself, okay? Listen before you make decisions and really think the situation all the way through. Um, and this will help to reduce your illusions that you might be facing because of the Neptune influence. And you definitely are looking at how Neptune is causing you to want to take action, but you are unclear and uncertain this week. Um, all of this will really be at its peak on Thursday, the 11th. Um, and this will actually be a week that you need to focus on your immune system because when Neptune makes its presence felt, it affects your immune system. So you definitely want to make sure you get outside, at least get 15 minutes of sunlight, get your vitamin D, um, get the things that you need to take care of your health. As Neptune also affects the things that's unseen in your respiratory system. So you definitely want to make sure you're taking care of your health this week because your immune system will be weakened. And then we have another Neptune connection, and that takes place with Mars. Okay, and that is Saturday. Um, and this is when it's foggy outside. Sometimes it's hard to see, and it's hard to navigate. Then when you add fire, Mars to the mix, it can really be hot, frustrating. You want to go in a certain direction, but you can't actually see the picture or the puzzle clearly. And this is where frustration comes in. This is where you act before you actually see the whole picture. You make rash decisions. So you definitely want to be careful this week in particular, especially on Saturday, when things will take place and you want to take action, and you want to will things, but your vision and your perception is not fully clear. So I'm going to get into the charts. I'm going to share my screen and let me see if it's up. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. So this is the current transit that we have. And again, we have the sun in Gemini, okay, and this is Gemini season. And it's very fitting that um, this because of this current transit, we have uh, Neptune actually making his presence felt. And because Neptune is making his presence felt, Neptune is here in the sixth house of Pisces, is home. But then when you add Mars to the mix, of course, that's when that fog and the heat actually makes things frustrating. Things getting hot, and it's actually squaring that sun in Gemini. Um, and we know that everyone is, dealing with the perceived uh, or perception of voting. Okay, and we know that Gemini deals with the whole legislation process of your First Amendment Bill of Rights, of freedom of expression, freedom of speech, um, all of these different things under the Gemini influence. Now, because you have Gemini prominent this cycle or this season, um, with this Mars Neptune connection and it's square in the sun, and you have Vulca retrograde, Venus retrograde. This is, I don't know if a lot of you have been witnessing people reoccur or resurface from the past, whether it be relationships, exes, resurface in your life, people who are coming back, old friends, or you're getting in contact with these people or they're reaching out to you. This is likely to happen with Venus retrograde. This is revisiting some communications, and this is all based off of previous or prior contracts that you already signed before incarnating in this life. Okay, now you'll have a lot of people, or some people, reach out to you during this transit. Venus again is retrograde for longer than it normally would, 3 weeks longer than it normally would in Gemini. Um, but because of all these things taking place, uh, this is where you have to be careful of your communication style, okay? Because you can actually come off as a hopeless romantic and express all of these different type of feelings that you may have, or express a lot of different type of emotions and things like that. And this could even be taking on a lot of mental energy and a lot of different um, energy when it comes to learning and teaching, taking on a lot of tasks to learn more and study more. But you have to be careful and know your limit because you have the signs reverse with Gemini in the ninth house, where it normally would be in the third house. In Sagittarius, the opposing sign both have switched houses. So this is really learning how to communicate and express within institutions, and then also see the bigger picture. So this is really um, allowing us the opportunity to look at the small details within the big puzzle. Okay, so um, now let's go ahead and animate and see as we can go through each day. So we're going to flip ahead for a couple days. Let's see. So this is the 10th. Okay, this is the 11th. Okay, and this is where everything will start off. Um, really getting this height of this Neptune Mars energy conjunct in the sixth house, and this is of health. Really got to take care of your immune system this week. Make sure you're getting your minerals or anything you need to help you specifically. Um, you see all of these squares taking place with this stellium in the ninth house and in the sixth house, um, uh, Neptune, home, Mars. And Mars doesn't like to be in this weird water energy of emotions trying to express himself. This is also where Mars is cutting ties, and this is dealing with cutting. Okay, so a lot of um, past habits, eating habits, routines, and things like that. This is an opportunity to cut, but it'll be a challenge because that's a square, and we know that anytime that the planets are squaring, that's a conflict. That means they're fighting. Okay, or they're expressing this great confliction. So you have Ceres here as well in the sixth house. So this is a nurturing asteroid that's helping give you the necessary mindset and will to carry out the health needs that you may have this week. But it's going to be a fight, okay? So this is all taking place on the 11th, okay? And that's Thursday. So let's go ahead and continue as we look to the Saturday the 13th. And this is going to be a big one. I actually, well, I'll get to the card later, but this deals with the frustration to the mix. Okay, it's tighter squares, tighter orbs. You have the North Node stationed in Gemini. Okay, and then you have the South Node stationed in Sagittarius. They're opposing each other. The Moon is disseminating in light, is shrinking, waning, and it's almost close to home. Okay, it's almost a new moon coming, and we're in this shrinking phase. So with the moon shrinking, with the sun in Gemini, the north and south node station in Gemini and Sagittarius, you have Venus retrograde. This is the dealing with the art of perfecting your communication style, okay, and dealing with how you're expressing your health and your service to not only yourself but to the things that you're learning, and this is higher learning about how to take care of yourself, your health, your employment, all of these different things. um, and this will be very frustrating for some, but for some who are actually able to catch this before it happens, now you'll know, so you may have an opportunity to um, work through this better. um, and especially if you guys aren't trying to get a child this weekend, you definitely want to make sure you prepare and plan, because Mars is in Pisces in this square. This is actually dealing with sex, and you actually have Neptune and Pisces. This is dealing with alcohol, drugs, and um, different substances. So you have to be careful. I would say be careful, but be cautious this weekend, because this, if you're not desiring a child, this could be an unexpected pregnancy. But this is definitely taking place this weekend. And then let's see, 14th on Sunday, things begin to cool down just a little bit, but you still have that um, transit, that those tough squares. You have a few trines in here, but you see here that the moon has now transitioned, and it's in Aries. Okay, so this is an opportunity to take action. okay, with others, okay, but Chiron is in Aries as well. So this is really focusing on healing relationships, okay, and balancing the emotions that you're having to express and take action um, before you know information, before you have all of the facts. Okay, so that's what this transit is revealing to me. You guys can definitely let me know if uh, any of these things happen. I did a Archangel Animal Oracle card, and the card that I pulled today was the kangaroo. Okay, so I'm gonna, here you can see that. The kangaroo, and the kangaroo is very, very on time because kangaroos give you the meaning and the spiritual awareness of gratitude. Um, and Gemini has to learn the lesson of gratitude, okay, because they have that angel devil or angel demon or dual perspective when it comes to gifts and accepting things, and they have to learn the um, gratitude so that they can receive benefits. This is expressed in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, chapter 23. Teach Gemini, um, you teach them gratitude, and they shall receive benefits. When you teach them the lesson of gratitude, they actually are able to receive more because it's an energy of um, uh, giving and receiving, and it's also an energy of gratefulness. And when you're grateful, you attract more things to you. So this definitely is about that lesson. The kangaroo also deals with standing on your foundations and actually building in your community and family and being able to protect and defend yourself. So I think that the kangaroo is right on time for this transit, this reading. I also want to remind everybody that Friday is going to be a good time to still try to get things done. You have an opportunity zone, although the moon will be going forward, of course, and the moon will be in the third quarter phase of Pisces. So you definitely can continue on the work that you've already consolidated, not starting anything new. This is going with the things that you already had planned and breaking them down to smaller goals. So I hope this was able to help you and to give you some insight for this week and how the transits of Neptune, Mercury, and Venus will actually make its influence and presence felt. Um, I look forward to giving you another reading next week, and I'll be breaking down some more of the signs. Peace and love, everybody.